Supreme Court Justice Oliver Holmes once said, "Where we love is home. Our feet may leave, but our hearts will not." Each of us have a place that we call home. It's a place where we fit in, are familiar with, and feel welcome. Nothing comforts us more than a place we can call our own. But when your home is 2,251 miles away precisely and separated by an ocean, imagine how lost you may feel. For international students, culture shock is a real obstacle to fully assimilating into a culture that is different than the one that they call home. For my interview, I asked a few questions of a friend I've known since my freshman year here at Campbellsville University, Gladys Pena. Gladys is a junior here at Campbellsville and calls Caracas, Venezuela, her real home. Through my interview with Gladys about her first year here at CU as a freshman, I was able to highlight the cycle of culture shock in her life and how it manifested in 3 different areas of personal relationships: environment and daily life. Culture shock can be broken down into 4 main stages: wonder, frustration, depression, and acceptance. The first stage, wonder, is also influenced by jet lag. This honeymoon phase can last anywhere from a week to about a month, according to Ross Tebeck, a travel blogger who has his own run-ins with culture shock. My friend Gladys explained to me a little bit about her own stage of wonder by comparing the daily life of her hometown Caracas, Venezuela, to our own in Campbellsville, Kentucky. Caracas, she explained, is a lot bigger than Campbellsville. There are about 4 million people who live there. There is always something to do, and the streets are full and busy with people. She also explained to me that Caracas is home to a different type of people than Campbellsville. On the streets, she tells me, you have to pay more attention to your surroundings. People there are not as friendly and as trusting as strangers. She explains to me how nice it is to be able to let her guard down and smile to people as she walks to class. Religion is also different in Caracas. The population is majority Catholic, Gladys explains. Church is a big deal there, but when I go here, it was mostly Baptist, so I don't go as much. The second stage of culture shock is known as frustration. Traveler Ross Tebeck explained it best, saying, "The usual response is anger. I often tell people that culture shock is walking out the door, being greeted by a neighbor, and wanting nothing more than to shout obscenities at their face." Gladys laughed when I asked her about this topic and expanded a little more on just what began to make American culture so frustrating for her. The nightlife is completely different, she would tell me. Being a resident here in Campbellsville myself as a student, I've often faced the dilemma of what to do on a Friday night. While the restaurant industry is booming, nightclub for going out and going to nightclubs and having a good time is not really something you can do around here. That's what Gladys misses the most. She says that she misses just being able to go out with friends and have something to do. But paying for things to do can also be a problem for some cultures that don't have a money system like our own. Luckily, the Bolivar, that's the money system Venezuela uses, is similar to the American money system, Gladys explains to me. She tells me the economy back in her hometown of Venezuela is not what it's like here in America. At Christmas time, my family sends me money to buy gifts for my sisters and my relatives. Electronic game systems are way cheaper here than in Venezuela, so I buy them and ship them back home, Gladys would say. The biggest frustration she expressed, however, was the lack of a metro and public transit system. In Caracas, we don't really need cars to get around. The metro rails take you wherever you need to go, and you can walk on foot, she would say. The third stage of culture shock is depression, and it is often accompanied by a homesickness. It makes you just be so angry all the time, Gladys explains. I came here on a tennis scholarship and to get a college education, but I reached the point where I didn't even want to do that anymore. I asked her to expand a little bit more on what she really missed from home around this time. She explained to me that the food here just isn't the same as it is in Caracas. In Venezuela, family meals are a huge deal, so huge in fact that we started doing them here in Campbellsville as well just to make her feel welcome. About one night a month, we go over to my friend Anna's house and make arepas, a favorite dish of Gladys from back home. Arepas are fried cornmeal flour made into a tortilla-like sealed shell and filled with a mix of tomato paste, chicken, and cheese, and they're awesome. While America has brought her many new friends, Gladys still misses the friends she has back home. She does explain, however, that making friends here has been easier since people are so willing to be friendly to people they don't know so well. She also explains that the better her English gets, the easier it is to speak to people and find common ground. The thing Gladys explained to me that she misses most of all, however, is her family. Family is very important back home. She explained that face-to-face technology like Skype helps, but it's still not the same as being there in person. Gladys also talks about her younger sister, who she affectionately calls TT, and how she misses her the most, explaining the two of them were very close. Another hard thing about being away from home for so long, she would later tell me, is missing out on all the important holidays and life events. She has missed family birthdays, weddings, and Christmas. Thankfully, however, the final stage in culture shock is finally acceptance. When I go home over summer break, Gladys would tell me, I miss it here. I'm always excited to come back. My family is proud to say I'm studying and playing sports at a college in the United States. I'm working towards getting my business degree to take back home. In his online blog, Ross seconds that sentiment, saying that culture shock isn't something you ever really get over. It's just finding a way to become comfortable in a surrounding that was once strange but is growing familiar. That being said, there are still some tips that can be used to not necessarily prevent culture shock from happening to you if you go abroad, but to help you deal with it better. Ross's main advice he gives to travelers is to not let denial take over. Recognize that what you're experiencing is culture shock and that it's normal. Learn to adapt to your mood swings and don't be afraid to let a friend know what you're going through. Glady's own personal advice to me was to not give up. Keep on working at learning the language, she would tell me. Talking helps you make friends and not make you feel like you're so alone. While some people think culture shock is a myth, in reality it is a normal cycle all international visitors staying in a strange country for a long period of time will feel. These stages will cycle through feelings of wonder, frustration, anger, and acceptance. In the first stage, wonder coupled with jet lag may leave a person feeling overwhelmed and stereotypes may be confirmed or disproven. In the second stage, frustration may cause someone to see nothing but the negatives about a new culture and focus on what they really miss from home. In the third stage, anger due to hopelessness may take over. At this time, it's important to lean on friends and stay engaged with new things and learning the language. In the final step, a person will accept their surroundings as the strange becomes familiar. While being an international student definitely has its own set of trials, the rewards of being able to say that you've made it in a foreign country on your own and create a new set of friends and language skills are invaluable. While all of our homes may have been right about our hearts being left at our homes, the mark you make on the new people you meet will be carried across all distances, no matter how big.